Let's start with a simple question. Why is this story still alive? Jeffrey Epstein died in 2019, 7 years ago. No trial, no verdict, no final answers. And yet, every few years, he comes back. New files, new headlines, new outrage. It's like political déjà vu. Every time the world is in trouble, Epstein returns. Why? That's what this video is about. Look at the pattern. 2020, pandemic, Epstein trends. 2022, war, Epstein resurfaces. 2024, elections, Epstein again. 2026, global tension, Epstein files drop. Coincidence? Maybe. But in the attention economy, nothing is random. When people feel scared, confused, angry, they look for villains. Epstein is the perfect one. Dead, mysterious, connected, a ghost with Wi-Fi. November 19th, 2025. A major moment. Congress passes the Epstein Files Transparency Act. But this law didn't appear by accident. It came after years of pressure. Pressure from victims' lawyers. Pressure from investigative journalists. Pressure from watchdog groups. Pressure from angry voters. And pressure from politicians like Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie, who kept asking the same question. If there's nothing to hide, why is everything sealed? By 2024 and 2025, the pressure became dangerous. Polls showed collapsing trust. Social media was full of cover-up claims. Election campaigns were being poisoned by suspicion. For Washington, this was becoming a political liability. Doing nothing looked worse than releasing something. So Congress made a calculation. Better to open the files than be accused of protecting elites. Better to control transparency than let conspiracy fill the gap. So they passed the law and promised full transparency, accountability, truth. The public thought, finally, this is it, the end of secrets. But laws don't create truth, they create procedures, and procedures can be managed. December 19th, 2025, deadline day. People refresh their screens. Waiting. What arrives? Partial files, heavy redactions, missing context, thousands of pages, with black boxes everywhere. Reaction? Anger. This is a cover-up. This is useless. They're hiding something. The story restarts. Not because of new facts, because of frustration. January 17th, 2026. By now, Congress is frustrated. December's release was disappointing. Too many black lines, too many missing answers. So lawmakers try something new. They ask the court to appoint a special master, an independent official, not from the DOJ, not from Congress, a neutral referee, someone who would decide what gets released and what doesn't. Lawmakers like Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie argue, if the Justice Department controls everything, the public will never trust the outcome. But the Department of Justice refuses. They go to court and say, this is our investigation, our records, our responsibility. Translation, we are not giving up control. The court agrees. No special master. The DOJ wins, and the files stay under government supervision. Because in Washington, who controls information controls the story, and nobody gives that up easily. January 30, 2026. The big one. DOJ releases millions of pages. Roughly 6 million reviewed, 3 million released in one wave, 3.5 million total. They declare, we have complied. Headlines explode. This changes everything. This exposes the system. Now we'll know. But something strange happens. People read, and read, and read, and still, no smoking gun, no final villain, no dramatic ending, just paperwork. January 30th, 2026. This was supposed to be the moment. After months of delays, arguments, and legal battles, the Department of Justice finally drops the biggest batch of Epstein records ever. Millions of pages. Not rumors, not leaks, not screenshots. Official government files. The Justice Department insists, "We have complied with the law." Translation? This is it. No more excuses. Spreadsheets, emails, interview notes, travel records, internal memos, scanned documents, archived videos. Newsrooms go into emergency mode. Journalists cancel meetings. Editors stay overnight. Researchers build databases. Volunteers start reading. Social media explodes. Search this name. Check this flight. Look at page 482,391. Download before it's gone. People think, now we'll finally see it. The list, the proof, the cover-up, the end of the mystery. But then, reality arrives. After days of searching, after millions of downloads, after thousands of headlines, nothing detonates. No secret agreement, no hidden confession, no smoking email, no undeniable evidence, just fragments. Context without conclusions, references without charges, meetings without crimes. A mountain of paper, and no villain at the top. The biggest document dump in modern history produces the smallest political consequence. Because information is not power. Evidence is. And this release had very little of it. Now let's address the most sensitive question. What about Trump? What about the Democrats? Who actually controlled these files? Let's stick to facts. First, Trump knew Epstein socially in the 1990s. That's public record. But in all released documents, there is no proven criminal evidence against him. No charges, no indictments, no confirmed accusations. Association is not a crime. During his campaign, Trump promised transparency. In November 2025, he signed the law. Without that law, there would be no 2026 release. So on paper, Trump did deliver. But here's reality. Presidents don't manage evidence. Once the law passed, control moved to the Justice Department. Lawyers, judges, court orders. Even if Trump wanted full exposure, he legally couldn't dump everything. Now, what about Democrats? Some people say, if Trump was guilty, Biden would have exposed him. It sounds logical, but it ignores legal reality. Most Epstein records were sealed by courts, under grand jury rules, under privacy laws. Biden couldn't legally release them, even if he wanted to. And without solid proof, no party would risk lawsuits by making accusations. So both sides were constrained. Trump couldn't fully expose. Democrats couldn't weaponize, because the legal system sits in between. Judges, rules, evidence standards. That system moves slowly, and slow looks like hiding, even when it isn't. After the January releases, something predictable happened. Newsrooms shifted. Headlines changed. Editors stopped assigning reporters to wars, budgets, energy prices, immigration. Instead, Epstein files, new details, hidden records, secret names. For weeks, every platform, every channel, every algorithm. Same story, different headline. The past replaced the present, and politicians noticed. When reporters chase documents, they stop chasing decisions. Now comes the hardest question. With victims speaking out, with protests, with lawsuits, and with millions of documents, why did nobody fall? Why no major arrests? Why no public trial? Why no final reckoning? Because by the time the system reacted, it was already too late. Years before 2019, Epstein's lawyers built legal protection around him. Many victims were pushed into private settlements that legally stopped them from speaking publicly. Many staff and associates signed strict non-disclosure agreements. Lawsuits were closed quietly, without testimony in open court. Some records were sealed by judges and locked away. So when prosecutors finally acted, most witnesses were legally restricted. Most documents were untouchable. Time had erased physical evidence. Memories had faded. Locations had changed. And Epstein had elite lawyers trained to attack credibility. Even honest victims were put on trial. Every inconsistency, every delay, every detail used against them. Then, in 2019, Epstein died, and with him, criminal justice ended. No trial, no testimony, no verdict. Victims could still sue his estate, but his money was locked in trusts. Many had already settled. Many cases were too old. And without Epstein alive, proof became even harder. So victims protested not because nothing happened, but because what happened was never properly judged. They weren't ignored. They were trapped inside a system that failed them early, and once it failed, it could never fully recover. People imagine justice as something dramatic. A courtroom, a verdict, handcuffs, cameras flashing. That's how movies work. Real justice is paperwork, forms, deadlines, appeals, procedures, technical rules. Every step has a delay. Every delay has a reason. Every reason has a lawyer. When prosecutors tried to move forward, they hit walls. Which court has authority? Which country has jurisdiction? Which evidence is admissible? Which witness is protected? Each question takes months, sometimes years. Wealth doesn't buy innocence, it buys time. And time is the most powerful weapon, because scandals don't die from denial, they die from exhaustion. Reporters move on, witnesses give up. Public anger fades, not with a bang, with paperwork. 3 million pages sounds overwhelming. It sounds like truth. It sounds like proof. It sounds like victory. But most of those files were not confessions. They were administration. Calendars, flight schedules, phone logs, expense reports, meeting notes. Who met who, when, where? Not why, not what happened, not who did what. Reading them feels important, but legally, they are weak. A name on a schedule is not a crime. A seat on a plane is not guilt. A photo at a party is not evidence. Courts don't punish proximity, they punish actions. And actions require proof. Witness statements, medical records, video, financial trails. Most of that was gone. Lost, sealed, settled, destroyed by time. So the document flood looked powerful, but it wasn't explosive. It was administrative debris, history without judgment, information without consequence. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Epstein was not the system. He didn't control governments. He didn't run corporations. He didn't write laws. He connected people. Money to influence. Influence to status. Status to opportunity. He created private spaces where powerful people met quietly. No cameras, no records, no oversight. That was his value. When one bridge collapsed, others remained. Networks don't die. They reorganize. Corporations replace CEOs. Parties replace leaders. Donors replace intermediaries. The system learns. After Epstein, everyone became more careful. More lawyers, more secrecy, more layers. Scandal didn't destroy the network, it upgraded it. So, who wins? Politicians who claim transparency, media companies who gain traffic, influencers who gain followers, parties that attack elites. Everyone gains attention. Nobody gains closure. Who loses? Victims, still waiting. Citizens, still confused. Institutions, losing trust. Democracy, becoming cynical. The more files appear, the less people believe. After all this, what changed? No major prosecutions, no new trials, no final report, because the scandal was never designed to be solved, it was designed to be survived. And it was. The Epstein story isn't about sex. It isn't about islands. It isn't about names. It's about this: a system that can absorb exposure without collapsing. A system that turns outrage into noise. A system that waits until people move on. Every time the world is in trouble, Epstein returns. Not to reveal the truth, but to remind us how power survives it. So, don't ask why this story won't die. Ask why the system never does.
Thank you for watching Pastcast, where the past echoes through today. If you enjoyed the satire, scrolls, and scandals, like, subscribe, and ring the bell before the next empire falls.